lower bracket losers finals. Let's go ahead and see MrRishi versus Lulu.
All right, there's still some very scary Tems on Rishi's side, but maybe not the ones that are typically scary. I think often it's that Rawrzyyy and 𝗏𝗏𝗏 that are bone-trembling terrifying for most players, but Lelouch with multiple waters, with a mental, he's really not too concerned with that.
Yeah, not at all. And funny enough, knowing that Lulu's working with a neutral 𝗏𝗏𝗏, it just feels kind of safe picking up the Volgon, because usually against a special attacking 𝗏𝗏𝗏, those crystal spikes are quite devastating for a Temtem like Volgon. So hey, just picking up that 1-2 punch that he's been kind of doing time and time again in this tournament, right? Double mythical start, which is interesting. I don't recall. Oh, he goes for most likely Purgation, right? That's what he's been leaning towards so far. Purgation on that Tyrannok into potential embers on the 𝗏𝗏𝗏 could be quite dangerous, I will say.
Yeah, that would be a lot of damage. Even if this isn't a particularly attack-heavy Tyrannok, you get that Purgation, you're really set up now. I mean, a single Purgation is enough to completely run away with a game after its buff.
Yeah, we'll see. Of course, he's also working with that potential Strangle play, right? I don't know if Lulu has caught too much of what Rishi has been throwing down, but it's been quite the interesting tech to say the least. But of course, guys, let's go ahead and jump into this first game of our losers final. And virtually just two solid neutral Temtems in our opening turn for the side of Lulu. So just trying to get some good damage across. Let's take a look at the scoreboard. Who do we find to be the bigger threat? The Dino or the Dragon?
You know, I always feel terrified of the dinosaur. I think Tyrannok is unbelievably strong, being it's so bulky and then turning off either gears or traits. I mean, that 𝗏𝗏𝗏 could lose its scavenger. That is absolutely huge. Vice versa, though, Volgon with that strangle play. Oh boy, with the Thunder Strikes doing damage to 3/5 of Lelouch's team, and really only one Tem being 𝗏𝗏𝗏 able to easily kill Volgon. I think both of them need to go as quickly as possible for Lelouch.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Those two mythical Temtems just pose such a threat. But okay, now that the Fire Dino is out of here, he feels safer to bring out 𝗏𝗏𝗏. But he's not too safe, but perhaps trying to read the Thunder Strike. And wow, MrRishi reading the read. Going for just a straightforward, or not too straightforward, but going instead for the move flank there.
And that turbo is very scary. You were talking about, is the Dragon more terrifying? The fact that we had to ask, and now it's +3 speed. Ooh, if these Thunder Strikes are enough to outspeed a Bamboozle from Valier, that essentially completely disables Valier as a Tem.
Yeah, you're so right. And on top of that, now Tatter's moving quite speedy as well. So those major slash, but of course, unnoticed move flank going to be going first, trying to take it down. But the outburst coming in and mobilizing everything the following turn. But wait a second, Rawrzyyy. That means the Volgon stayed in. Isn't a potential crystal bite coming in? I thought maybe... Oh, he goes for the major slash. I think this was maybe like a bold play from Rishi.
Yeah, I wonder if that was potentially a mistake now. I mean, assuming that Volgon was leaving for Tyrannok most likely. But now Tyrannok comes in. 𝗏𝗏𝗏 doesn't really want to stay and fight this fight anymore, knowing that easily Rawrzyyy could swap in. And 𝗏𝗏𝗏 is taking free embers damage.
Yeah, free indeed. So as we were saying, Lulu does decide to retreat for that Valier. At this point, it's just kind of just here to take some damage. But oh, the play we were thinking off the top of the tape there. Purgation onto the Tyrannok. Gain that 50% increase on the Dino going first. Wait a second. How did it go first? I thought the move flank had a couple unnoticed procs.
That was the outburst playing its hand. We weren't able to attack on the Lelouch's side. So just that free damage, take the kill, get yourself another attack up on the board. And 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏, oh no. 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 in front of a +3 Volgon. The only saving grace here is that there's no stamina left on Volgon. So maybe it leaves, maybe it stays and attacks. It's really up to Rishi to make this play. It could be terrifying if Volgan clicks Thunder Strike and then 𝗬𝗵𝗻 swaps into 𝗏𝗏, it could be covered with the counterplay on 𝗬𝗏 and do damage either way. But you don't want to throw away a +3 speed Volgan with so much HP so easily.
Oh, and wow, Lulu just stays in. He's just daring Rishi to overexert heavily with the Volgan. Does Rishi read that? But oh, the Fat Burner allowing the Bamboozle to go first. The Meteor Swarm, it looks like potentially the Volgan just rested, right? Because Meteor Swarm being one priority, Volgan might have just clicked rest, and that he does, right? That he does. So now it's in the exact same situation they were last turn, but now Volgan doesn't have to overexert to get the job done. But perhaps maybe Lulu thinking about swapping in, but to your point, right, there is just no proper swap-ins. Flaming Meteor is now online, and that's a 50% increase on that Flaming Meteorite. So Keanu goes down, 𝗏𝗏 goes down, or you just sacrifice the 𝗬𝗏𝗻, which might be your only answer to the rotor, but everything just stays in. Let's see how this pans out.
Tornado onto 𝗬𝗏 does quite a lot of damage, and Bamboozle on itself, Valier outspeeding Purgation. Okay, so that's still one prio, so we don't have the Thunderstrike versus Boozle speed race yet. We don't know which one's faster. Outgrowth. Oh, that was a lot of damage. Purgation is absurd. This 𝗬𝗏 at +4 attack just zapped away 𝗬𝗏𝗻's life.
Yeah, was that Outgrowth or was that a Thunderstrike? That HP bar went exactly the same speed down. So yeah, 100% increase on that Outgrowth, coming heavily into that 𝗬𝗏𝗻 spot. Impressive. These two mythical Temtems are not to be messed around with. Rishi almost single-handedly with these two Temtems obliterating a lot of Lulu's Tems. Let's see, can he at least try to knock one out before it is too late? I mean, he dares to bring in 𝗏𝗏, but as we said before, Flaming Meteorite is still still online. Can he perhaps protect it with that Bamboozle we've been seeing from this Valley Air?
Yeah, I mean, that's the only hope, right? Is kill Volgan and Bamboozle. Volgan does stay, which is a little bit risky. The another outburst means no one will be attacking next turn except for probably Rawrzyyy that's coming in for this. No, Volgan survives. It wasn't the Crystal Bite. Meteor Swarm is enough to kill Valier. Pops the Boozle on 𝗏𝗏, so he's safe for the time being, but he can't attack this coming turn. Keanu can't really do anything either. I mean, a Beta Burst isn't going to be enough to kill anything today. And Volgan probably just leaves now?
Yeah, I did overexert the previous turn, so nothing to be able to do this following turn. So perhaps Lulu just keeps things straightforward and just something like a ninja jutsu into Beta Burst that left-hand spot. It almost covers everything. But as we said, the Volgan did have to retreat. The Valiar coming in. Let's see what Lulu decided to do. I'm willing to bet he goes after the Dino. So he goes for the Volgan spot. And of course the outburst. I keep forgetting. I keep forgetting that darn outburst. 𝗏𝗏 and 𝗬𝗏 immobile for this turn. But okay, now they're active, so we'll see what they do now. I mean, honestly, there's nowhere to run, so Flaming Meteorite almost certainly to connect unless Lulu takes it down right here, right now.
I really just want to see a crystal move come out of this 𝗏𝗏. I've only seen neutral moves so far today.
Yeah, have we only seen base jump at that? I don't think we've seen a crystal bite. We speculated it was going to be a sharp stab, but I swear we only seen major slash and a base jump. You're so right. Where are the crystals from 𝗏𝗏?
Yeah, and Kunders mentioned earlier that a sharp stabs would have 𝗬𝗏𝗺. So I really don't know what this 𝗏𝗏 is going to click. I mean, maybe we've got the 0 crystal move 𝗏𝗏 or the base jump major slash ninja stonewall. I don't know.
Okay, a little stonewall. I would imagine we saw it earlier, but you know, maybe it was a crystal bite, not a sharp stab, and that's why it outsped. That's the only thing I could consider. Maybe something like base jump, major slash, ninja like you mentioned, and then a crystal bite just for the heavy crystal damage. But we'll see. Most likely just trying to keep things straightforward, trying to deal with the Tarnok before that flaming meteorite. I could only imagine. So here goes the jutsu. Does it take it down, or does it need the help by Kinu? Oh, it does not need Kinu's help, so well done. That's the biggest threat for 𝗏𝗏.
Yeah, now a Hypnosis on 𝗏𝗏 means that a Roller coming in next turn could potentially be frightening. Although with Kinu here, we have to imagine that Hypno is available. So if it is Roller, it maybe doesn't get an attack off before 𝗏𝗏 gets a free Crystal Bite into an effective right spot.
Yeah, and there's nothing to swap out. You're so right. Either Volgon has to bear... Oh, no. Actually, it's trapped in. You're right. So, yeah. Do we finally see the crystal technique? Or does he maybe try... Oh, wait. It's sleeping right now, of course. So, yeah. We won't be able to see it now. But you know, Rawrzyyy, I can't recall. I can't recall if Kinu was working with that Hypnosis because he desperately needs it right now. But that Bamboozle will be going first, protecting the rotor.
Just a beta burst from this Kinu is enough to kill Valier. If 𝗏𝗏 can hold on through one Stone Ball, this could still be possible, but oh, it does just barely. 3.3%. 𝗏𝗏 the king. Now he just has to outspeed a +3 speed Volgun. It's definitely possible, but we know that there's no Ninja. It's gotta be that Crystal Bite. Ninja was just clicked to kill the dinosaur. I mean, there's with no prio. It's scary. Thunderstrike goes first and it kills this 𝗏𝗏. Oh no. This poor Badger just hasn't been able to do any of the things that it came here to do today.
Yeah, no crystal moves still haven't been clicked. You know, and that Goring just did such amount of damage on that Kinu. You know, it's probably similar to the 𝗏𝗏 we saw in the past. So if that Goring did all that damage, this Thunderstrike gonna be doing a good amount of damage as well. I was almost thinking that a little beta burst could end the Volgon, but instead goes for the Resin Trap because it was already going down with overexertion. So bringing it down to that 36% mark. But I don't think now the rotor's going anywhere with that Kinu overexerting. So MrRishi looking good, looking prime. It looks like he's going to be taking that early game advantage with one game up against Lulu. Can Lulu bring things back? Because this was close. That was a really close game. But those double mythicals were such a huge mountain for Lulu to climb. And there we go. Chef's kiss. Chef's kiss for MrRishi.
Looks like they are getting started now. Just waiting. Rishi's got a lot of single squads to pick from here, deciding which of his Volguns he wants to Volgun with.
Yes, indeed. And of course, guys, they can't change up their team, so keeping everything fair. So we'll see. I believe the first ban for Rishi against Lulu was that 𝗏𝗏. 𝗏𝗏 does impressively a good job against that Volgon and the Volcrane, of course. But oh, it's not going to be the 𝗏𝗏, it's going to be the 𝗬𝗏. 𝗬𝗏 actually didn't do all that much, but perhaps it was just to not allow that pivot swap. Maybe still Outgrowth packs a massive punch against 𝗏𝗏 as well. So we'll see.
This time banning the Roller does open the door a little bit for 𝗏𝗏. There's still some pretty scary Tems here with the nature of Lowali, with the potential Earth or melee of Tataru, with Grandpa just being Grandpa. It's definitely still scary, but I think 𝗏𝗏 does have a little bit more wiggle room to play this time, especially being unbanned.
Yeah, and that's exactly who ends up picking it. Oh, this is a speedy/glass cannony board, right? 𝗏𝗏 and a Catfire. Oh, you know, there's no water Temtem, but I guess I was gonna say the Volcrane, but I guess the Volcrane still doesn't feel all that great against the 𝗏𝗏, right? Soil Steam packs a massive amount of punch on that Volcrane spot. Is it enough to maybe just one shot? I know it doesn't have the biggest special defense, so I wouldn't be too surprised. But someone like Rishi had to anticipate perhaps a max special attack 𝗏𝗏, so I'm willing to bet it survives by a couple percentage points at the very least.
Yeah, I mean, the hook is probably going to be the best turn 1 damage he can ask for, considering you don't want to lead Lowali into Catfire.
Oh, you're so right.
It is still pretty good for Rishi. even though this is a very aggro lean on the Lucha side, like you mentioned. I don't think 𝗧𝗺𝗺 is all that worthwhile on turn 1. I think that he's probably not going to take too much damage, considering 𝗂𝗵𝗴 can heat up for free right now. But I mean, there's not really good swaps either. You bring in Tataru for some neutral damage and get yourself set up for the next turn's Major Slash. Start working towards a Held Anger. But it's just going to take a lot of damage from a +3 𝗂𝗵𝗴 if that's allowed to happen.
Yeah, you know, that's a little bit of mind games as you bring that up, right? Because you could go for Hook on 𝗏𝗏. That's 4x effective onto that Mudrid, of course. Maybe following it up by the Embers might just kill the Mudrid. But if Lulu knows that game plan coming in from 𝗏𝗏, maybe just swapping in something like the move flank, something like the Kinu. And then if he... because that would be the better line to play for Lulu. But if 𝗏𝗏 reads the read and goes for something like a Stone Ball on the 𝗂𝗵𝗴, now Lulu is in trouble indeed. But oh, realizing that the Soil Steam might just be too much to bear. So Bridget the Tattoo coming in, as you mentioned, and it was the Soil Steam. Let's see how much it does on Tataru.
That's still some pretty good damage, taking a stat of 67, and that free heat up like we mentioned on 𝗂𝗵𝗴. A Sharp Leaf, though, instead of just that Embers, there is the nature play. So Mudrid taking just shy of 50%. It definitely wants to leave, considering that's really the only Tem that's going to fight a Volcrane. Everybody else is just going to get outsped after a single hook, and Stone Trench is going to wreak havoc. Mooflank really the only Tem that, if it comes in early and sets itself up, can get going, but he stays. He Soil Steams again. Bridget down to 35%. 𝗀𝗏𝗄𝗎 from this 𝗂𝗵𝗴. Hopefully, yes, going to be enough to kill Tataru. But that means another Sharp Leaf. No, Meteor Swarm playing a different card. Not going to do as much damage to the Mudrid, but still down in the red. Still very scary, considering a hook will now be killing Mudrid no matter what.
Yeah, definitely. You know, although not doing too much damage onto that 𝗂𝗵𝗴 there, it's still just some good value with the Frightening trait. As we saw, the 𝗂𝗵𝗴 try to trigger the bait proc, but now no longer able to proc. So out comes the 𝗂𝗵𝗴 for that Kinu, saving the 𝗂𝗵𝗴 down the road, and Mudrid gets some defenses rolling. But wait a second, Rawrzyyy, does he just click Soil Steam one more time? I think he has enough stamina for at least one more. And goes for the Deluge. So perhaps, okay, at the very least he sleeps it, right? He sleeps it and seizes it for the very next turn. So it wasn't all bad.
That's a fantastic start. Now, if Volcrane stays, it probably dies. There is a very free swap in here with Lawali, but that means this turn, does Volgan get targeted, kill the superconductivity, remove all hope of a... well, I guess it's just Meteor Swarm now that's got the synergy, huh?
Oh, yeah, I think so.
Oh,
or
and Gust.
like Gust. Yeah, I was about to say Gust to maybe just kill the 𝗏𝗏 if you find yourself on that board. But, you know, I almost want to see Lulu save that Mudrid just in case he gets in that 1v1 situation. So he ends up saving it. In comes the last, which is a little bit risky. But all right, 𝗏𝗏 also swapping out his Volcrane for his other fire Temtem. It will be the 𝗧𝗺𝗺. So back to the double opener mythical Temtems. But all right, the Hypno does get applied. Frightening does keep everything without a bait or anything like that. So it does confirm onto the Volgon. And we'll see. We've been saying it this entire tournament. Does 𝗏𝗏 have at least a singular crystal technique? Does it have a crystal bite? Because if we look at the back line, of course, there is a Volcrane there. So it is a little bit risky, perhaps. Maybe just keep it... Oh, we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, I wonder if he even stays. He does bring 𝗂𝗵𝗴 out as Volgan swaps into that Volcrane. Oh, if we see a Crystal Bite this turn, I'm going to cry. Major Slash. Good reads. Good reads. We're not going to click the big crystal button just yet. Good damage onto 𝗧𝗺𝗺. Potentially even in kill range of a Flaming Meteorite.
I think so, right? Flaming Meteor is just so impressive, but oh, the Steve's still playing a little bit of value there because you don't add those little ticks of burn the following turn. So still bringing the 𝗏𝗏 down to a good size, 22% remaining. But things like Ninja Jutsu are aligned. 𝗧𝗵𝗶 is neutral damage onto the Tyranock. And if we take a look at the back line, Ninja Jutsu plus the 𝗧𝗵𝗶, there is really nothing that eats that very well, right? The only thing that would have ate it decently well is already on the board. So is there a bit of a window of opportunity for Lulu? So Tyranock, he wants to save it down the road. I'm just a little bit scared 𝗂𝗃 goes for a Stone Trench. It just gets a massive amount of value as well.
Ninja Jutsu going first, getting some damage onto 𝗂𝗃, setting himself up for the future as the hook just barely misses this kill. Slingshot is going to be very scary in the future, and base jump. 𝗂𝗶𝗆, this is the draft arena or something. Going for a neutral hit, losing his stab, but taking advantage of that +3, just barely not killing 𝗂𝗃. Which means +2 attack, +1 speed, Stone Trench available. Oh, there's not many Tems that can eat this very well.
Yeah, I don't think so as well. As you mentioned, Stone Trench is online and it's 25% increase, so 𝗂𝗃 might just be able to get the upper hand. I know 𝗂𝗃 is probably built to near max speed, so maybe another secondary base jump could close things out. But we'll see. I know Rishi probably trying to do some maths real quick, saying, wait a second, can I outspeed with the Stone Trench? It's going to be close, because if you don't outspeed, that 𝗂𝗃 will be taking you down. But I think it does, right? I think the Stone Trench might just be going first here.
You know, I think that this is the second time in as many games that Lelouch has wanted his Tem to die, and it hasn't. We saw it earlier with... I don't remember which Tem it was. It might have actually been this very same 𝗏𝗏 that he just wanted it to go down so he could get the free swap in. If 𝗵𝗆 had been able to come in this turn, a double kick likely outspeeds the Stone Trench and would have killed 𝗂𝗃, but it's just not meant to be with no sharp stabs, as that probably wouldn't even kill anyway. I mean, it's just a really rough spot that Lelouch is in because of 1 HP on 𝗏𝗏.
Yeah, so literally you can't even see the HP is actually just a singular 1 HP remaining. Of course, Ninja's still not aligned to the following turn, so I don't know if he wants to save the 𝗏𝗏, or as you said, he actually wants it to go down. But you guys see these guys are running down onto that time tank there. Rishi or Lulu and close to 0, but just in case the Stone Trench was clicked, he does swap into the Qiinu. Was this the first time Qiinu makes an appearance? Because the protective proc gonna be wasted, but the Stone Trench does go first, and I think Lulu is okay with that, right? 𝗏𝗏 was on his way out anyway, so eating it a whole lot better with the Qiinu rather than the 𝗂𝗃. But let's see. Oh, the turbo, making sure 𝗂𝗃 has a great matchup against that low HP 𝗏𝗏. And of course, I say 𝗏𝗏, but the low HP 𝗬𝗏, and then of course that 𝗂𝗃. So being at 75% increase, this 𝗂𝗃 might just be the true win condition, because he just has to be a bit careful though. 𝗵𝗆 and the Qiinu can take it down, right? It's just chilling at 17%. So any little hit from both of these Temtems will indeed take it down. And yeah, Lulu's saying, let me pop the bamboozle with one and then try to take you down with the other. So we'll see. I don't think Rishi wants to get that done, so might just swap to one of those mythical Temtems in the back line. Probably more so, I guess either or, but 𝗂𝗏 feels like it does a little bit less in this matchup. I feel like Tyranock is a bit more worth saving for that 𝗏𝗏 in the back. And man, Lulu keeps throwing me for a little loop here. I keep saying 𝗏𝗏, but I definitely mean 𝗏𝗏, guys.
Yeah, it looks like the doubling just wasn't possible, considering Flaming Meteorite on Qiinu would have been terrifying. So instead, it is that 𝗬𝗏 being sacrificed to the gods of fire. And it is the slight overexertion on 𝗂𝗃, but it's not going to matter too much here. Hypoxia onto 𝗵𝗆 brings it down to about halfway, and it has to be the base jump onto Lawali. It just can't be a hit onto the Boozle, because +3 speed means that 𝗂𝗃's going to Stone Trench again before any damage can be done. Really, the best hope here is just this max speed 𝗧𝗵𝗆 with synergy. But I don't know, +3 speed 𝗂𝗃, if this is also max speed on Rishi's side, I don't think that that's a big enough difference for the prio to matter.
Yeah, I think so. The only saving grace. Oh, wait a second. The cage into a base jump, more likely, right? 𝗂𝗀𝗃 was trying to get protected. The plague not going to be getting the kill on the move flank. And we saw there was a neutral technique on that 𝗃𝗃. So there we go. The biggest devastation coming in. 𝗂𝗃𝗃, that beautiful 𝗬𝗵𝗃𝗃. Or hey, some people might not say it's beautiful, but he is cool. But 𝗂𝗃𝗃 does get brought down. I think 𝗬𝗍y forgetting about that cage. So Lulu thinking one step ahead. And now 𝗬𝗃𝗇𝗃 does have the upper hand in terms of speed, right? That's a 3 priority play with the neutral synergy. So 𝗬𝗏𝗚 is trapped in. That most likely goes down. But how are you taking down the final 2 mythicals, right? Both of your crystal Tems are already taken out. So this Volgon definitely seems a little problematic.
Yeah, I wonder if maybe letting Kiinu die was the better play for Lelouch. It's unfortunate because you'd be losing a very healthy Tem and saving Mudrid at very little HP. Then you would have had the effective damage on the Volgan, but I guess that doesn't even matter because that Flaming Meteorite almost kills. Surviving just long enough to strangle is very unfortunate for Lelouch. Once again, he's on that 1 HP mindset over here. But Kiinu probably does outspeed the Volgan to kill if it wants to target that spot. Otherwise, I think Tyrannak comes in relatively free on either 𝗬𝗏𝗚 or Volgan spots right now, considering 𝗃𝗃𝗃 can't attack.
Yeah, and I didn't see if the ace shot got used already. That might have been the first strangle of this game number 2. But, you know, I do think there's like a slight glimmer of hope, only because the 𝗬𝗏𝗚 did overexert, right? So, you know, you don't have to worry about the 𝗬𝗏𝗚 with some heavy hypoxia damage on that 𝗃𝗃𝗃. And then if the ace shot wasn't burned, that means both of 𝗍𝗍's Temtems are immobilized for this following turn. So that's an easy little beta burst. And you know, I don't know. I think there's a lot of amount of special attack investment on this Kiinu. But forget the special attack, just sleeping the 𝗬𝗏𝗚 for the next turn. I believe that. Oh, but ace shot wasn't used, so going for the T-strike.
With a dead 𝗃𝗃𝗃, that is absolutely GG. There's no way Kiinu can fight against this Tyrannak.
Yeah, you know, Rawrzyyy, Kiinu outsped, right? So I wonder if it was worthwhile to do beta bursts. But maybe Lulu was just reading the Tyrannak coming in, huh?
Yeah, he did already give the clap, so this is killing for the glory of the kill here. Knowing that one more rest as it was asleep, Kiinu's able to get free blood. But now Tyrannak, he's not playing around. Embers, Meteor Swarm, Flaming Meteorite, any of it's going to be enough now.
Yeah, 100%. I agree with you. So Plague doing a little bit more, but even a little Embers, right? But he might just go out in style, right? A Flaming Meteorite, is that what MrRishi's going to be pressing? It should be more than a line, but okay, perhaps it wasn't. Just keeping it nice and small. Embers will be guaranteeing 𝗍𝗍's spot in our grand final. So incredible, incredible. We were thinking Lulu could make a little bit of a comeback, but instead 𝗍𝗍 was not messing around today, and up he goes against Kunder. So